is the person at work that you hate and why? So Taylor might be wise to choose a former person.
Former people, anyone who would bring smelly foods to eat at lunch or at their desk or out and about. You know, have a turkey sandwich, have a ham sandwich, have, you know, pizza. Don't have some horrible garlic curry, disgusting sloppy mess. And for the love of fucking God, don't you microwave fish, you savage, in the middle of this office. That drives me crazy. And it's always the same guy who's some meathead who is oblivious to everyone around him because he's so involved in tracking on his phone his macros, where it's like, oh yeah, I got to make sure that I get my 60 grams of protein. So I just have, you know, I have 3 gallons of liquefied halibut and then just a loaf of gluten-free wafer bread. And so that's what I'm eating. Do you mind if I microwave this and then just pour it into my mouth? Like,
I know that
disgusting.
Taylor's ex-coworker, if he sees this, will know it's him. He'll be like, "Oh, fuck you, Taylor."
He knows. If he ever finds this, he fucking knows, because that was inappropriate. That's inappropriate for you to be microwaving things in public. It really, like, I'm joking, but I'm also
just
not
jealous
like,
of his gains, though, aren't you?
Just so jealous of those gains.
So
He
much
wasn't
mass.
He was in great shape, but it's not just him. Anyone who microwaves things that are unseemly, it really is rude. I genuinely think of someone as like, wow, that's really selfish of you. If I had like some leftover Italian food with a huge amount of garlic and onions or something in it, I wouldn't bring it and then microwave it and then be like, oh, sorry, is that the shrimp smell permeating from my old pasta that I just warmed up? Sorry, everyone.
I don't think you do well in IT, because just fair warning, there's a lot of curry in IT. There's a lot of curry. When you work in IT, there's curry every day, smelling up that place. I didn't like it, but there were way bigger offenses that bothered me.
They ever shit in the floor? It's just right there in the floor.
That's a little behind the microwaving thing for me.
Really? I was just thinking. Well, I've seen Indian people do that. They have a very poop friendly culture. Not a very toilet friendly culture though. They seem to. I remember one of their politicians, that was one of his major things. You know, our politicians are like, defense, keep the immigrants out, whatever. They're just like, we got to get some toilets in here. More toilets. Shit in the toilet. Like they have like whole like public they all have like public policies that they have to push. It's shitting in the toilet. Like that's their whole, like, it's not I'm with her. It's not make America great again. It's shit in the toilet. That's where they're trying to get to. You know?
Where do we shit India? In the bowl. You know.
And who's gonna pay for it? Pakistan.
Pakistan's gonna pay for all of our toilet bowls.
I'm gonna make Pakistan build a giant toilet. A big, beautiful toilet that we can all shit in.
Pakistan is a giant toilet, am I right? Vote for Woody.
But seriously, you can go online and type like Indians shitting in public. Just search that. And you'll get like vast montages of these people. Like they'll just be walking along and like squat, poop, wipe their butt, and then just pants right up and gone. Like they can shit in seconds. They're like my dog. It's absurd how quickly they
shit mid-run.
No,
I don't think so.
But they have
That's
pellets.
kind of how they shit. Just on the move. Yeah, I don't have time to waste. I got to make it to the fucking meat market before it closes or whatever they're thinking. But speaking of the pooping, another thing of people that's shitty at work is that guy who always has the perfectly timed, I have to take a shit. I don't remember this guy's name, but he worked with me when I was in high school at this hockey camp where I trained goalies. And it was me, this other guy, a couple other people, and then like the main head guy who ran it. And every time it was all those little kids and their goalie shit falling and slipping on the ice, and you're trying to wrangle them up and keep them under control and do drills with them. And if the main guy ever had to leave and deal with something, without a doubt, his second in command, who was then supposed to subsume that responsibility and be like, all right, kids, 6 and under over there, and you go over here and do this. That guy always would go and take long bathroom breaks as soon as the guy in charge left. It was like he was always looking at his boss, and then as soon as he'd be like, I have to go talk to some parents, they're getting a little bit upset. Seems like Tony got here earlier today, because the main boss was they were all Canadian but me, and and he would just leave and go take a shit. I found out later he was getting high by the Zambonis. further back where the kids couldn't see. So he was just walking back there saying he had to take a shit and then walking back high as a kite and then working with these kids on their form, man. It drives me crazy because I would always see it coming. I'd be like, okay, he is about to, main guy's about to leave. All right, he's gone. And second in command guy. Oh, do you have to take a shit again? Gary, do you again? Like, it's always that. The opportune bathroom and shitter guy is another horrible person to work with. Especially if I haven't done it in like a retail situation, but I can imagine if you work at like Macy's or Nordstrom or something, it would be enraging if it's Black Friday and your manager walks around the corner and then Susie Q lazy fuck decides that she has to go change your tampon again or something. Like it's just, I hate that because you can always tell. You can always tell when people are bullshitting about having to shit at work.
Worst guy I ever worked with was Lucas. Lucas, if you see this, fucking fall on a piece of rebar or something, Lucas, because I fucking hate you. What Lucas would do, I was as an architect, right? And he was a real young guy who was super favored by management. They just loved this guy. But he was junior, so they brought him like with me to like, because they didn't want him to operate without adult supervision. And he was always like suggesting and recommending new technologies to pump up his own resume. And for the IT guys watching this, you've probably seen the same behavior. Like nothing to do with what's right for the company, nothing to do with having like a common architecture so that someone who works on one app isn't just completely lost when they move to the next thing. He would just like, oh yeah, fucking new thing he read about on the internet is what we need to be implementing this week. And you might think I'm some sort of old fuddy-duddy, but that's not the case. Like he was just like finding solutions for problems we didn't have and finding a way to like jam them in there. And then there was other shit. Like, when we were real busy, suddenly like he would leave work early to get his hair cut. I didn't like it. It was like, dude, like, I guess knock yourself out, if you have personal time, like we're all on
contrived
salary.
Errand guy.
Yeah, but like it's fucking go time. We're presenting this shit tomorrow. We need to, make sure that this is all ironed out and we're on the same page. And you're getting a haircut. I can't think of a lower priority. Like you're just fucking vanished. And then there was personal stuff too. Like he called me up, said he could cure Colin with like dietary advice, and it's like.
Like what? Like
What was it?
Like berry
it was like
something?
more legumes and stay away from processed something. And
are you giving him enough pintos? Raw pintos?
And it was just like,
what percentage of his diet is legume based? Off the top of your head.
How dare he doesn't have any kids, right? Like he doesn't even have a girlfriend that likes him back. And
any medical training?
No medical training.
Oh
no, well. but he's like, I don't know, saying he can solve Colin with a legume-based diet, and it's like, asshole, like you have so overstepped your bounds.
Like actually, we've had him on nothing but legumes since day one. We think it might be the legumes.
Yeah,
he's on a strict legume. It's funny you should mention because he is on a strict legume diet. All that we hear him say when we get home is, "Please, no more legumes, no more legumes."
We make him sleep in a pot. Like we're doing the best.
I tell him you're our little bean boy. Enjoy your.
I'm thinking about him right now, and I'm thinking to myself, I hope bad things happen to him in his future. Like I hope that his life doesn't work out very well, because he's a selfish fuck. He's not good in his core. He's a fucking dick, and I hope awful things turn up for him in his life. I hope his personal relationship with that girl keeps going on like it has been. So fuck you.
I hope he chokes on some lentil stew, right? Or maybe some chickpeas gets caught in his throat.
Yeah, he was nothing.
I had to look up common types of legumes to get examples.
Yeah, he's the one that, and as I think about it, like the kind of people that I mostly had frustrations at work were the ones who were picking techs for their own personal good. I had some. This feels so racist to say, but Indian culture is different than American culture with regards to like getting stuff and getting ahead. Their resumes are just filled with whatever they think that you want to be on their resume. So when you interview,
what you said?
Yeah, I don't know a better way to say it, but I feel like my Indian coworkers would be like, "Oh yeah, that's just obviously fucking true." you know, I mentioned many times, I think, about the pirated software. Like in America, if you've paid for all the stuff that you use, there's kind of like a pride to it. In India, they just think that you're dumb, like it's poor financial planning. And I would hire these guys over the phone, and then they'd come, and it's like, you can't fucking fool me. You're not the person that was on the telephone. You literally had you had someone else handle your phone interview for you who could answer the questions. And then you show up and you don't know fuck all about like the things that you knew on the phone. They're not even
so
close.
They try and like parent trap you.
Yes.
Where some other Indian guy shows up.
I wasn't even mad about that. I was like, he was a contractor. So like you're more apt to get fired. And I like just was I is amusedly a word? I amusedly fired him. I just like, you know, like fuck off. Just go. We both know the jig is up. How dare you? How could you accuse me of that? Because you're fucking guilty. We know it. It's like you don't even like maybe I think all Indians sound the same, but I work with Indians for 15 years now and you sound not to me. And like I speak Indian accent, and you're not the same guy. So you're not the same guy. That wasn't you on the phone. It wasn't.
I want to change my Sirius satellite radio setting, but I don't do it because I don't want to deal with the Indian tech support because that's who you get. I literally am losing like $20 a month because I don't want to fucking deal with her. I don't want to call her and have this fucking conversation with her where she's not really talking to me. She's almost like a machine because she takes my input and then looks and then reads a little and then reads something back to me every time I say something. Like we're not having a real talk. Mm-hmm. She's talking past me with like jargon, a script.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, okay, so I see you're driving the 2011 Chevrolet Camaro. And she's like trying to like have an American accent, but it's awful. She's like faking being American as an Indian, and she doesn't know like common American words. Like maybe Camaro isn't something that a lot of people know how to pronounce, but I know how to pronounce it and she doesn't. I don't call just because I don't want to deal with her. I get so angry because I'm just like, no, I want this. I want to do this, this, and that. And then she'll be like, okay, so it seems that you want to, and then she'll read back like for 10 minutes. And I'm just like, are we done here? Almost. And it'll just drag on. like I've been on the phone with these people so many times and just gotten so angry.
What are you trying to do?
The last time I was trying to like, I don't know, like upgrade my package or instead of like 2 separate packages and 2 separate vehicles, get one package that covered both vehicles or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's just so overly complicated. And she's so bad. They're so bad. I say she because I feel like I get the same one every time. But they're so bad. I hate it so much. I can't get anything done with those people. I don't mean like Indians. I mean serious fucking tech support.
When I call for support and I see that support's been outsourced to a foreign country, it impacts my opinion of that company. Like, oh, okay, just going forward, know that whatever, Amazon has bad support. That's not a good example because they have great support. But but like, yeah,
you can't even pretend to say something bad about Amazon because you love them so much. You're like, you know, Amazon, subpar customer service. Not true. Let me state, very good. You know, I use them all the time.
They did push their support to India, but they did a good job. But yeah, when I call and like, you know, Time Warner or whatever, and their support's actually based out of India, and they lie, I don't like that either. Like, hey, what's your name? My name is Steve. No, it's not. It's fucking not. You know, it's not Siri or you know, Mahesh or whatever your name is. Like it's not John. But they lie, and I've asked people where they are, and they come up with these like, you know, oh, I'm in Idaho. I'm in Boise.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Born and bred.
Born and bred.
Oh, I could do your accent.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Huge football fan. Watch all of the games.
Oh, this is great. I would love to have this conversation with a tech support guy. Oh, you didn't talk about a coworker you hated.
I hated that guy who always had psoriasis and was shedding everywhere named Uncle Bob. That was disgusting. And I felt like it was just like, I never mind stinky food. I liked Chinese. My favorite lunch, like takeout thing to get delivered was Chinese food. It was like Szechuan chicken. And we would all eat that stinky Szechuan chicken in the same room. So it was kind of a group thing. I don't know. So we would get Saturdays. We would have lunch catered, and it was always fried chicken. It was always fried chicken. It was Church's chicken maybe, and the black guys would always get up there early and get all the chicken. If I'm being quite honest, it sounds a little racist, but the boss would make sure that his like 3 or 4 or 5 managers got up there first, and they'd eat all the drumsticks. And that always annoyed me. There were never any drumsticks left for me. Nothing but thighs, and I don't care for that. Got to dig in there for the meat.
Thighs are
I don't
the
like
worst.
chicken on the bone. It's just not my
Drumsticks are
thing.
good, and the white meat is good. The thighs are not good. And Kyle's right. Chicken on the bone is a pain in the ass to eat, although drumsticks practically come on a carrying container, so they're better.
Yeah, drumsticks are better.
Yeah, thighs are one of the best piece. The only piece better than thigh, I think, is wing.
I never liked managers who seemed to like
I don't
say
think you
one
know your
thing.
chicken, Taylor.
Oh, fine. Sorry, Kyle. Back to you.
I felt like
we're getting.
I didn't like my managers who would say they would teach us one thing, or they would say one thing in private, like when it's just us car guys. But then when there's a customer sitting there, it's like a different game plan. It's like
you never want a manager with a public and a private position on things.
That's how it was, and it was almost so that he could swoop in and be like, "Oh, you're doing that to him, Kyle? How could you? When you're dealing with manager Greg, you get the blue carpet special. Like, why could you do that to him?" It was almost like he wanted to like come in and close the deal by like cheating, and I didn't like that. Mostly, we were taught to be real hard asses and be kind of mean about things and just upfront really, and not bullshit around and waste time. And then they would come in and literally do that. I didn't like that. There's nothing in really. I had a coworker who was always trying to sell Amway or some shit. He was always trying to push phone cards or some kind of pyramid scheme in the business, like in the dealership. And we had a corporate office upstairs that like oversaw the whole Southeast division of Auto Nation, and he'd be up there like trying to like push his phone cards on people way above any of our pay grades who just happened to work in the same fucking building. And they fired his ass real quick for that. I don't know. Nothing like no specific things. I can't think of really.
The opposite. I had a coworker who would like practically decorate the door to his cube, saying "Girl Scout cookies sold here." That's all he had to do. Then people would beat a path to his cube and be like, "All right, get me some Thin Mints." And
yeah, that's cool. I got no problem with that. That's the kind of business that you can include into your day-to-day job. When you're selling Girl Scout cookies for your kid, I think that's a known thing. It's not like we're hustling cookies and his daughter's going to like some sort of vacation or something. It's the Girl Scouts. So I think everybody understands that one. But when you've got fucking Larry over there slinging phone cards, it's a different story.
Dude, pyramid scheme guy is also a bad guy. If you have ever worked with someone who's like, yeah, I do this, but I also on the side have my other company. And then you find out that they're selling like acai berry juice to a bunch of unwilling grandparents and trying to get you in on it. And have you ever been propositioned about a pyramid scheme? Because I have, and it's one of those conversations that in your head, you're like, well, I know exactly what I would do. I would look at him and go, you idiot. I can't believe you've fallen for this nonsense. You really thought that you were going to pay $380, get this shipment of Jesus berries, and then people all around you would be, shelling it out to get a chance to, wet their lips with these delicious berry juices that have so many antioxidants. Like, you're a fucking idiot. But the real conversation goes more like desperately trying to maintain, like you're talking to a kid who believes in Santa and you can't let it slip that Santa doesn't exist. So you have to be like, oh wow, so you got 3 people working for you now, also selling berries. They bought their berries. That's great. That's awesome. You know what? I'm glad to see this is going up for you. No, I'm not much of an entrepreneur. I'd stick to this. I don't have any, my berry funds are dangerously low.
I'll keep slaving away here this 9 to 5 and let you real geniuses go out there and make the real killing. I'll watch you from the stands. You go do great things.
Several people have approached me with those sort of things. One just a few months ago, like 2 months ago. But they're not approaching Matt Woodworth. They're approaching WoodysGamertag. They feel like if they can hook that whale, right, then Woody pushing Amray is going to be making videos and instantly getting like 350 people under his network, which will of course make the guy that recruited me in very good shape. And it's just like, fuck off.
By the way,
no.